Early childhood. Physical growth increases in the preschool years, although it is much slower in pace than infancy and toddlerhood. At around 3 years of age, preschoolers move from the remaining baby-like features of the toddler toward a more slender appearance of a child. The trunk, arms, and legs become longer. So the center of gravity refers to the point at which body weight is evenly distributed. So the preschooler moves from the unsteady instance of toddlerhood to a more steady bearing. They no longer toddle that wobbly way that toddlers walk. This also allows the preschooler to move more successfully than the toddler. Some say that the later part of the preschooler years, at around 5 or 6, is the best time to begin learning skills that require balance, like riding a bike or skating. By the time the child reaches 3 years old, all primary or deciduous, or what are also called baby or milk teeth, are already in place. The permanent teeth, which will begin to come out by age 6, are also developing. The preschooler years are therefore a time to instill habits of good dental hygiene. So early childhood is also known as preschooler age. So we call them preschoolers. Preschoolers of physical development. Gross motor development refers to acquiring skills that involve the large muscles. Categories of gross motor skills. Locomotor skills are those that involve going from one place to another, like walking, running, climbing, skipping, hopping, creeping, galloping, and dodging. Okay, this is an example of a locomotor movement. So skipping. Next, hopping, or hopping using one foot only. Okay, this one is called creeping, or same as crawling. Next, galloping. So galloping means stepping off one foot, then sliding with the other foot in a forward direction. Next is dodging, to make sudden movement in a new direction. Categories of gross motor skills. We also have non-locomotor. Ones are those where the child stays in place, like bending, stretching, turning, and swaying. So another category of gross motor skills are manipulative skills, are those that involve projecting and receiving objects, like throwing, striking, bouncing, catching, and dribbling. So these are examples of manipulative skills. Catching or dribbling, bouncing, those are examples of manipulative skills. Fine motor development. This refers to acquiring the ability to use the smaller muscles in the arm, hands, and fingers purposefully. Some of the skills included here are picking, squeezing, pounding and opening things, holding and using a writing implement. It also involves self-help skills like using the spoon and fork when eating, buttoning, zipping, combing, and brushing. Again, when we say fine motor skills, it involves using the kids' hands or fingers. So by the end of the preschool years, most children manage to hold a pencil with their thumb and fingers, draw pictures, write letters, use scissors, do stringing and threading activities. So they can also do self-help skills like eating and dressing up independently. Significant progress in fine motor skills can be expected of schoolers, especially if they are aptly supported and appropriate activities are provided for them. Handedness, or the preference of the use of one hand or other, is usually established around 4 years of age. Preschoolers' artistic development. Victor Lowenfeld. He was an Austrian-born professor of art education at the Hampton Institute and the Pennsylvania State University. His ideas influenced many art educators in the post-World War II United States. In particular, he emphasized ways in which children at different stages of artistic development should be stimulated by appropriate media and themes, and the curriculum guided mainly by developmental considerations. So, there are three stages of drawing according to Lowenfeld. So, first we have scribbling, followed by pre-schematic and schematic. So, this is an example of scribbling. Next, pre-schematic. And schematic. So what is the difference between pre-schematic and schematic? So in schematic, so um, the child's drawing is more organized than pre-schematic. Again, the three stages of drawing according to Lowenfeld are the scribbling stage. Next is the pre-schematic stage at around 3 to 4 years and the schematic stage at around 6 years old. Cognitive development of the preschoolers. So there are two substages of Piaget's pre-operational thought. Again, the pre-operational stage is Piaget's second stage in his cognitive developmental theory. First, we have the symbolic substage. Preschoolers show progress in their cognitive abilities by being able to draw objects that are not present, by their dramatic increase in their language, and make-believe play. Again, in pre-operational stage, the hallmark of this stage are language and the make-believe play, or also known as the pretend play. Next is the intuitive substage. Preschooler begin to use primitive reasoning and ask elite questions. In Piaget's theory of cognitive development, the pre-operational stage typically occurs between the ages or around of 2 and 7. Stage, children exhibit symbolic thinking, which is characterized by the ability to mentally represent objects and actions through symbols such as words, images, and gestures. One example of symbolic substage within the pre-operational stage is the development of pretend play or the make-believe play. During the symbolic substage of pretend play, children engage in imaginative play where they use objects or symbols to represent something else. Okay, so example of symbolic stage. So for instance, a child may pick up a stick and pretend it's a sword or use a blanket as a cape to become a superhero. Through this type of play, children demonstrate their growing ability to understand and represent the world symbolically. This stage is crucial for the development of language, creativity, and problem-solving skills as children learn to use symbols to express their thoughts, feelings, and desires. A child pretending to take care of a baby is another example of symbolic play within Piaget's pre-operational stage. Here, the child uses dolls to represent infants and engages in caregiving behaviors such as feeding, rocking, and changing diapers. Through this type of pretend play, children demonstrate their understanding of social roles and relationships. They mimic the actions and behaviors they've observed in caregivers, showing an awareness of their responsibilities associated with caregiving for others. This activity also allows children to explore concepts of nurturing, empathy, and compassion as they imagine themselves in the role of a caregiver. So, symbolic play involving caregiving helps children develop their social and emotional skills by encouraging them to consider the needs and feelings of others. It also fosters creativity and imagination as children invent scenarios and stories to guide their play interactions with their toy or doll. In intuitive thought, so another substage in pre-operational stage. In the intuitive thought substage, a child begins to develop reasoning by asking a lot of questions. This is when they want to understand everything that is going on in their world. For example, a first grader will ask a lot of things such as why is it there? Why does it taste like that? And on and on. At this stage, intuitive thinking would be encouraged by a helpful adult who would answer the questions as much as possible or stimulate the child to ask questions. Language development. Throughout the preschool years, children's language development becomes increasingly complex in the four main areas. 1. Phonology, or speech sound, semantics, word meaning, syntax, sentence construction, and pragmatics, conversation or social uses of language. Fast mapping is a process by which children absorb the meaning of a new word after hearing it once or twice in conversation. Preschool children combine syllables into words and words into sentences in an increasingly sophisticated manner, or simply mean, mapping refers to the ability of children to learn new words very quickly and easily around age 2. Children can pick up words and phrases with very little exposure to them because they are constantly observing all of the world around them. Language and social interaction. Inner speech or private speech, young children use language both to communicate socially and to plan, guide, and monitor their behavior in a self regulatory manner. Inner speech, as proposed by Lev Vygotsky, refers to the internalized dialogue or verbal thoughts that individuals use to regulate their thinking and behavior. So just imagine a kid working on his or her homework. She's trying to figure out how to solve it, but she's feeling stuck. In her mind, she starts talking to herself silently. So that is an example of private speech, saying things like, okay, I need to break this down step by step. First, I should identify what the problem is asking for. Then I'll look at all the information given and try to figure out a strategy to solve it. So inner speech serves as a form of self-guidance and self-regulation. By talking himself or herself through the problem, they are able to organize their thoughts, plan their approach, and monitor their progress. This inner dialogue helps her stay focused and on track, ultimately leading her to successfully solve the math problem. So that is an example of inner speech among children. So Vygotsky believed that children use inner speech to develop higher mental functioning skills. By using self-talk, children can regulate their own behavior by talking situations or internally. And he also believed that inner speech develops through social interactions and language experiences during childhood. As children engage in conversations with others and internalize language, they gradually learn to use inner speech to guide their thinking and behavior independently. For Piaget, private speech is egocentric and immature, but for Vygotsky, it is an important tool of thought during early childhood. Full cognitive development requires social interaction and language. Children must use language to communicate with others before they can focus on their own. This implies the importance of interaction of preschoolers with caregivers for language development. So another concept from Vygotsky, we have the zone of proximal development. This refers to tasks too difficult for a child to master alone but can be mastered with the guidance and assistance of adults or more skilled children. Or simply means the zone of proximal development is the gap in learning between what a child can do and what the child cannot do. Scaffolding is a term that refers to the changing support over the course of a teaching session, with a more skilled person adjusting guidance to fit the child's current performance level. More knowledgeable other, MKO, the more skilled person.